guys, kaitlynxmarrie, welcome back or welcome if you're new, and I'm here for another YouTube video. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to be doing a top 10 of all my favorite movies, like horror, comedy, romance, Christian, like any movie that I love, that is like a full, like, just love this movie beyond compare, like my top 10. I also am going to have like 5 honorable mentions, like that I also like, but they're not good enough to be my top 10. My social medias are right here, and let's just get started. Okay, so as I was making this, I was like, my number 2 and number 1 need to be switched. So I am like remaking this video. I say this, I usually have like when I put my movies like the streaming and everything, but since again I'm gonna put like 10, and then like, just like because it's my top 10, so I'm gonna like do it like that, just like show you guys. And I feel like with doing that, then the streaming won't look that good. I don't know. I just feel like it won't look good. But the streaming will be in my description. So after this video, you can you can look down in the description if anything looks good. I would do timestamps, but I don't know how to do that. But yeah. But let's just get started. So my number 10, the last one, is Coraline. This movie, I hate that it's like so low on my list, but it just like, looking at anything, it just stuff that tops it. And it's just this movie, it's really good. It's really good kid movie, and they should so make like this like a live action and then make it horror. Like that would be so scary, and like that would be so good. This movie is just so good. I tried to read the book, but I wasn't really intrigued. I want to try again someday, but it's such a good movie. It's a kid movie, but like, it is really an interesting movie, and it's kind of sad. Everyone knows what this is, but if you don't, it's about this girl Coraline, and then family moves to this new house, and neighbor YB gives her like this doll I found look like her, and then what happens is she finds like this door and it leads to like this other world. So it means like everything is good and everything is better because like this other mother, this other YB, like her neighbors. But then what comes is it's not better, and it's kind of like the grass isn't always green on the other side. And I love this movie. Like, me and my cousin would listen to like all these like theories about it, like for hours. So it's just such a good movie. What do I think of streaming anything? It was on Netflix for the longest time, and then Netflix got rid of it because Netflix doesn't love us. But yeah, and then my number 9 is going to be Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings. So I was like really like tough. Like, did I like this one more, and did I like the first one more? And honestly, I think I like this one more, which I mostly say just because the kills are better. Like, the kills are pretty like extreme in the first one, but this one, like, the kills are like holy crap, and it's so good. Basically, it's about like Hisgloryco brothers, and then kind of like them as like teenagers, kind of. And then what happens is like it also has like this like group of like college students, and then go to like winter break. It's like this like cabin and whatever, but then they get like stuck, so they go to like the sanitarium, and that's where the Hisgloryco brothers are at. And it's just so good, and I love seeing like where they came from and like where they started, like them as kid versions and everything. It was just such a good movie. I do want to say that after the first one, there is like nudity and sex. Like, I think like the second and the third one, it shows like boobs, and the fourth one, fifth and sixth, they have like sex scenes. And then the 7th one, nothing. But let's be honest, we're not gonna pretend. Like, Wrong Turn 7 is a disgrace to the Wrong Turn franchise. But yeah, so yeah. And then number 8 is going to be Jaws. So this movie, I kid you not, is the movie that got me into horror. Like, I remember the day I watched it. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I can remember like reading about it in 4th grade, being like, oh, this is cool. And my dad used to love horror movies, so like we put it on, like we bought it. But then there was like a pin, so we like called my mom trying to figure out the pin, and then we watched it. And normally, my brother came home from my grandma's house, and I was like, see, I was gonna have nightmares, so I stayed at like 12 o'clock watching My Little Pony. It's just a nostalgia, I guess. Of course, like, the movie isn't that great. I mean, like, it was made in like 1975, but it is really interesting, and I like how they don't show the shark as much, where it's not that scary. Like, it shows the fin, but it doesn't show it up close, because once you see it up close, it's like not that scary. But it's just such a good movie, and this whole movie like got me into horror. I just love it so much. And then My 7th place is going to be God's Not Dead. This movie is so good. Like, this movie that got me into news stories, and it was just such a good movie, honestly. It's really sad too. But it deals with like this college guy. He's like a freshman, and then his like professor is like philosophy, whatever. It's like, we're not even gonna debate this whole God topic. I just need you to write God is dead. And he's like, I won't. Like, I do not believe that he's dead, so I'm not gonna go and write it. He's like, okay, fine. If you don't write it, you have to prove to the whole class that he's real, and if you do not prove it, then you fail this class. And it's just really annoying. His little girlfriend gets on my nerves, but then the Newsboys make the show. Then it kind of has like multiple stories, like an anthology, and they all connect at the end. But then it has like this girl, and she has cancer, so of course she's like battling with that, and then she deals with like some spiritual stuff with like, and I don't know, but it's just really good. And then Duck Dynasty, like the main guy, he's in it. And then it deals with this other girl, and I don't want to say her religion because I don't know it, but she is dealing, like, she believes in God, but like she's not allowed to, so it deals with like her stuff with that. Her story is so sad. Like, there's this one scene, I'm not gonna say it, but it makes me cry like every time. And then it has like this pastor guy and then this missionary guy with, I love them, and they want to go to like this place for like vacation, but then they have problems with the car. So it's just everything. Like, it's just such a good movie. I just love it. And then number 6, we have Legally Blonde. This movie is so good. Like, I used to love this movie. Like, this movie is like, so I love like 90s comedy, like girl movies, like Clueless, like those like Breakfast Club, I don't really know about Pretty in Pink, but like those movies I like. So like Clueless is just so good. Like, it has like the whole like funniness and like the old love thing, but then it also has like a crime too, just like the law stuff. So I thought that was cool too, and I really just like that. And it has like a lot of like quotable moments, and it's just like Elle Woods is like iconic. But yeah, and then number 5 we have is Jigsaw. This movie, everyone hates it, but I love it. The reason I probably like it is because it was like the first like official Saw movie I watched. Cause like by the time I watched it, like Jigsaw is out, so it was like between 2017 and 2021 where like Spiral came out. I'm pretty sure it was like 2018, 2019. So of course like I knew like a lot of the twists and stuff, but like Jigsaw I knew kind of like nothing about it. So I think that's why I just love it so much. So like I wonder like if I watched Saw and I didn't know like the whole big twist, if I would have liked it, like if Jigsaw still would have been my favorite. But it's just so good, and I love it. And I think the kills are like awesome in it. But yeah, and then number 4 we have Fear. Not to get this confused with the 2023 Fear that just came out. This is 1996, and it has Reese Witherspoon, and I really like her. It's her like was a teenager, and she starts dating this guy, and he becomes like very like possessive and like controlling and everything. And it's just, I don't know, like I just love this movie. Like, I first watched this and I was like, I love this movie, and I tried to buy it, but like there's no, like you can't buy it, but like I don't know how to explain it, but like it's just such a good movie, and I love it. And then my number 3 is Final Destination 3. This movie is just so good. Like, my favorite Final Destination movie of all time. I remember watching it for the first time, like, or do I? Was it? Or maybe it was the second time. No, I think it was the first time. Like, it was just such a good movie, honestly. It was on Netflix last time I checked. I don't know if it still is. But, like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know why I love it so much. Like, they could have ended it at number 3, and it would have been fine. But, yeah. And then my number 2 is Terrifier 2. So this wasn't number 1, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, no, it needs to be number 2, because number 1, my number 2 is I switched it. But I just want to say that Terrifier 2 is so good, and this is why I caught like in October. It was right on my top 10. It was just, it's so good, and it's just, what the clown is like freaking hilarious. It's just the fact that like he make a move killing someone, and he makes like these stupid faces, and it's just so funny. And it was just, I loved it. Like, I like Terrifier, but like, that was okay. But like, having this, like, the clown is even funnier. There's more of a storyline to it. Like, I'm so excited, like, to have Art become more like a horror icon. And I'm so excited for number 3, and I think they're making number 4 too. But I'm just so excited. Hopefully, I will get to see it in theaters one day. Because I really want to see this one in theaters. But yeah, I love this movie. And then we're going to talk about my 5 honorable mentions before I get to number 1. And these are just, I like them and they're really good. But they're not good enough to be in top 10. So my 5th one is I'm Not Ashamed. This movie is about Rachel Joy Scott. It's about one of like the victims in the Columbine shooting, which is incredibly sad. So it talks about that. But then it mainly talks about her spiritual journey and everything. You cannot watch school shootings. Do not watch it. It's not a lot in it. Like, it's more mainly like a little bit in the beginning and the end. But it's so sad. And I cry like every time. And like, no one considers like a real person. They just like have little diaries. It's just so like sad. But it was just so good. And then number 4 is Spider-Man No Way Home. I love this movie. The reason I love it so much is because it brings back like all of these villains from like all like the other Spider-Man movies. Of course, it brings back all 3 Spider-Mans. I mean, like, who doesn't like that? Of course, I have my issues with the ending, and the ending will determine if this movie, like, if they need to make a second one. They cannot just end the whole Spider-Man franchise like that. That's all I have to say. And if they do, I will have to buy it. But yeah, and then number 3 is Wild Child. So this movie was on there, but then I did replace it with Fear, just because I was like, no, like, I like Fear way better. Like, Wild Child is really good, and I do love the movie. Like, I love Emma Roberts. And the longest time, I thought she was actually blonde, but it was just a wig. So I'm gonna say that's why it's not my top 10, because I don't know, it's so good. And it's just the fact that like she's like a rich spoiled like brat, but then she moves to like England for like boarding school, and then, you know, like she learns to not be a brat. So it's just really good. And then my number 2 is Incident in a Ghostland. It's about being like transphobic, which I guess I can see it, but this movie is really, really good. It's from the same guy who made Mothers, so like just take that. There is like some like implied assault. It's just really good, honestly. Like, except there was like a twist in like the middle of it or whatever, and I didn't fully understand the twist until the 3rd time watching it. So yeah, it's about this girl, and she basically goes like moves into this house with family, and then like these people like break in, and it's her like 20 years later, and she has to go back to the house, and then like some stuff happens. So it's like a really good movie. It is really sad, but I do really like it. Like, I don't know what it was. I was like, for my birthday, and I like going to like a Salvation Army, and my mom saw it. She's like, oh, you might like this. Her at the back, and I was like, oh, it's interesting. And then I watched it. And when I first watched it, I was like, oh my god, this is like so bad. Like, what the heck is this movie? But I watched it again, and I was like, I love this movie. So it's just so good. And then my number 1 honorable mention is Jumunji, the original. This movie is so good. I remember watching it like for the first time. Like, not exactly. I was in like my old house before this one. It was a trailer. And my mom being like, oh, let's watch Jumanji. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And I'm watching it. But it was like the next day. I put the movie in my room and watched it like the next day. It's really good. And honestly, talking about it, I want to watch it again. It's just Robin Williams, and I love him. And I really wish he was still around. And it's just so sad. Like, it's just really sad how his life ended. But yeah. So my number 1 in my top 10 movies, like my top movie of all time, not like my favorite movie of like all time. You'd be like, what's your favorite movie? I'd be like, this is my favorite movie. Watched it like 6 times. I'm not even kidding. And it is, when you guys take like 5 seconds to guess. If you know me, you should know. Clueless. Love this movie. I'm like, I don't even know why. Like, it's just like another like teen romance movie, but I just love it so much. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I can watch it and I can watch it the second day, and like, it's just like Cher. I love her. It's such a good movie, honestly. Like, it's just so iconic. Like, these like 90s movies, like this, like Legally Blonde and Clueless and The Breakfast Club, and I want to find more movies like this because I love this type of movies. But it's my favorite movie of all time, and I can tell you, I remember watching it, and it was like 2 years ago because I remember it was on Netflix. I was like, oh, that looks cool, so I was like watching it, and I was like, that movie was great. And I went to rewatch it, and I saw they took it off Netflix, and I was so sad. But then I found it for like $5 at Walmart, so I bought it and I watched it that night. And it's just, I love this movie more than anything. And I need Cher's little like outfits, and I need her like little like computer that like picks your outfits for you. But yeah, so put down your top 10 movies in the comments, and tell me if you liked any of these movies, if any of them will be in your top 10. And I will see you guys next week.